YouTube land, I messed up on 3 things. So one, if this looks weird, I don't know why the coloring issue was off. So that's why I was kind of looking dark. Maybe I fixed it in post editing, hopefully. And that doesn't even apply. Number 2, I suck at B-roll footage. That's why this is kind of all over the place. And you just kind of seeing the tour rather than some cool action shots. It's my first time doing it. Cut me some slack. And number 3, this cuts off because I didn't have enough space in my iPhone. So I deleted some space. So the next runbacks that you're going to see are going to have full videos rather than just the 35-minute mark that it gets cut off here. But if you still want to watch more of this interview, wherever you get podcasts, you can listen to the interview there at Tyler Brian Hour. Thanks for checking this out, and I appreciate you guys. Bye. What's good, everybody? It's your boy B-Hurt, a.k.a. Brian, a.k.a. Prince, a.k.a. Prince Vegeta Out the Hating. I forgot my own intro. This is actually the Runback series, the one you know and love, the one where I interview some of your favorite content creators, gaming people, just people that's doing dope things in general. But this Runback is going to be different because this is the one I call on tour, where I'm actually going to a place, talking to a face in person, and getting to know them a little bit better. I would say this is Dan from Des Moines Gaming Club. How you doing?
Doing good. Hey, thanks for having me on the pod, Brian. Appreciate it.
I just appreciate you letting me into your humble abode and just being here. First thing we always like to do on this podcast, because, you know, life is almost like a simulation. It's not even like real anymore at this point in time. But how are you doing mentally?
Hey, doing good. Good.
Yep. Good.
I guess in that regard, you know, running my own business, Des Moines Gaming Club, is a lot of fun. It's a dream. Got to give a shout out to my wife, who's making it possible. So without her, I definitely wouldn't be able to do it.
Shout out to her. And like that, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but I kind of want to just go back to that. How was it just even starting a business during this pandemic?
Yeah, well, so I had the idea for Des Moines Gaming Club, you know, which is just a small gaming center here in Des Moines, which a long time ago when I had the idea, you know, there wasn't a gaming center in Des Moines, a place that people could come and play video games casually, competitively. So had the idea. We wanted to open before the pandemic. Then it hit. That delayed stuff, you know. So we waited. We were going to open kind of in the middle of it, but then we thought, nope, better delay it some more. You know, so we delayed, and then we did finally open in June of 2021 when we had hoped to open nearly a year earlier. So a lot of waiting. You know, the supply chain made us wait, too, with getting PCs and different equipment.
I imagine PS5s as well.
Oh my gosh, and they're still hard to get. You know, it's crazy. Xboxes you can get now, but not PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Yeah, we definitely paid over market price for those. But yeah, that was just one of the little roadblocks, and there's a lot of different things that I learned along the way that I didn't think I'd be doing. But yeah, it's been fun, and now we've been open for over a year, and it's gone fast and gone slow at the same time, so it's been good.
Can you touch upon that, just in case anyone else out there is listening to this podcast? I mean, they stumbled upon it, of course, but just touch on, like, if I wanted to make my own gaming club, like, what would be the steps or processes that I have to go to do that?
The big thing is, having the funding to buy the equipment. The PCs aren't cheap. And some of the equipment isn't cheap either, PlayStation 5s, especially if you're paying over market price. Thankfully, we only had to get 2. So when I made the business plan back in college, it was like 5-6 years ago, I thought, okay, it costs a lot to start it, but then the costs aren't super high after that.
Right.
Especially when I figured I'd be working by myself most of the time, so I don't have to pay a lot of employees or something like that. So we just had to get a loan from our bank, for a decent amount. But since then, then you just start working on paying it back. And after that big initial expense, it's not as much after that. So if anyone who's looking to get into this, which I think the esports industry in general is something to get into, now while it's still in the beginning stages.
Right.
Maybe take that leap now and hope for the best down the road.
Right. Because, I mean, I think gaming, I want to say it's $1 billion industry. I think it's like, I want to say it's number one as far as entertainment goes. Like, I think it surpassed movies and probably TV shows. Because you figure, like, a game, you're always going to have that.
If you throw it all in together as one, like, just video games and then esports as well, then I think you're right. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Now, just to get a little spicy, because that's what we like to do here on the Runback. What out of FIFA, your FGC night, your Smash night, any like shooting games, of course, or Rocket League, what one is the one that brings the most money as far as the Des Moines area goes?
It's definitely Smash Bros. So.
Sorry
to the FGC, but it's definitely Smash Bros.
No taken. I'm not surprised because
the community is alive and well here in Iowa, and it's good to see. And we've been fortunate enough to connect with some of the people in the community, and they've been nice enough to come out and support us, which is awesome. But it's really cool to see, not just the Smash Bros. Community, but the FGC as well. Consistently we bring in the best players in Iowa. Which is pretty awesome. That's not something I thought of when I opened Des Moines Gaming Club.
Which is, it's kind of hard too, because it's hard to put Iowa on a scale, right? Because if you think of like just the only thing I can speak of is like the FGC. You think of like California being a strong scene. You think of New York being a strong scene. You think of just like almost in general, and like any sort of sport like thing is like just the Texas, the Californias, the New Yorks, and all those things being strong scenes. So like when I would start to come here, it was like I knew that obviously I didn't think I would be the best player here, or I didn't think I would be that good of a player here, but it's like it's kind of hard to judge of like where everybody's skill could be, because Iowa's just not known for that.
Certainly. Those are the thoughts I had too, and getting to know the FGC and the Smash Bros community, they both have great players, and both communities have players that can go to regionals in different regions, not just the Midwest, and plays highly. Endgamer got 4th in Street Fighter 4 at a big event.
Combo Breaker, yeah.
And then,
shout out to Endgamer.
And then Peasy, Scar, Skittles, who are in the Smash Bros community here in Iowa, they can go and place very highly too.
Oh, shout out to them. Shout out to them.
So it's cool to see.
Yeah, because especially like how you kind of touched upon, like I went to a tournament a few years back in not Denver, but Davenport, and they had a big Smash scene. I mean, that thing was full just mainly for Smash, and I thought it was insane, and it kind of blew my mind. And then not to mention, I think some of the biggest Midwest tournaments as far as Big House and I think Frostbite are in Michigan, so that's kind of like Smash just being so big in the Midwest that you just kind of see that all around. So then you kind of touch the bases on some of the players, but who is a player that you see that comes in here, maybe not consistently, but just comes in here enough to where you notice them to where you think that they have potential to go far? I mean, you kind of touched on some Smash players. Is there any FGC players or like Valorant players or Rocket League? One player that came to mind is Lil Capped. He doesn't come to all of our events, but he's been supportive of a lot of different ones. So he's come to FGC events, he's come to Smash Bros, he's come to Rocket League, and he does well on all of them. Probably because he's really good. He actually was a professional Brawlhalla player. Oh, wow. And he recently just retired from that. But that's another kind of character that, I didn't know about. I didn't know we had a professional Brawlhalla player in Des Moines. I didn't either.
Really good. He was ranked number 1 at one point.
Oh, wow.
And then, he started.
His name's Lil Cap?
Lil Cap,
okay.
Yep. He comes in with his brother sometimes and runs all the Rocket League. They're really good at that. He's played in Halo. Really good at everything. But, like I said, it's cool to see those kind of players that come in to Des Moines Gaming Club and participate in our events.
Yeah, and like I have an online squad or a Discord squad, if you will. Shout out to RNO. But they... we play Brawlhalla all the time. So then when I was coming here and I brought a friend last time, shout out to Caleb, and we were playing into the tournament. I did okay in Strive. And so I think my friend Caleb plays Tekken, but it didn't have Tekken on the thing. Or we saw Brawlhalla, so he was like, yo, you want to play? Because we play that too. Yeah. And then like a few other guys that were here, they're like, what, you play Brawlhalla? So then we all had like 4-player co-op on Brawlhalla just on the back screen over there, which I thought was like just interesting and fascinating enough to where like you see all these people play different games. Yeah. And then to play another game, you're all like, oh, you play that? And it's just kind of weird how like this environment is. Because this environment's cool. Like, I'm prideful in the sense of like, I put in a lot of work. Not necessarily like I have unrealistic expectations, but it's just like I like today I labbed for like 3 hours trying to figure out strikers, guard, breaking combo. I guess block string, not combo, but block string and DNF duel.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get it, so I was mad at myself. But like that's the type of pride that I have. So when I came here and like you lose in tournament, it sucks and it's awkward. But you think like, you know, I'm thinking all these internal things, and everybody's just cool and they're just still cracking jokes, or they're trying to help me with some advice. So it's like you want to be salty, but it's like, damn, this environment's so relaxed and everybody's just having a good time.
That brings up a great point. All the communities I've been impressed with, and of how much of a community they are, and no one's ever been, you know, mean or you know, gloating when they win or something in turn, which, you know, makes sense. It's just a local, and most everyone gets that. But the FGC especially, I will say, it's a pleasure having you guys in, because everyone's just super nice and like you said, always willing to give tips and always just talking about what they can do to make the scene bigger and giving me advice, you know, which I'm very thankful for. It's I always tell my wife that even though Smash Bros is bigger, I do enjoy having the FGC in more.
Right, because I feel like, especially in the Midwest, like there's not that one that's like well known. Like I said earlier, there's Wednesday Night Fights and there's Next Level, but as far as the Midwest goes, maybe Chicago might have a scene, but even then, they're not that big in a sense of like we could pass them. Like if, and that's one of my questions to you is, as far as growing this scene, what is something that you could do, and someone like me who comes to the scene not as much as they should, but you know, sometimes it'd be expensive and in downtown and I'll be after work and all that stuff. But
you come out quite a bit.
Like, what is something that you could do to grow our scene, and then something that like a person watching this or listening to this could do to grow our scene?
Sure. The big thing we focus on is being that consistent place that has competitions and stuff. And so one thing that I think some people might find surprising is, you know, we don't always have the biggest turnout every week. And I'm fine with that, right? We're here weekly. The weeklies are weekly for a reason. They're here, you know, at the same day, same time. So you know that, okay, if I want to get some fighting games or Smash games in, or Rocket League or FIFA or whatever, that you can come on that day, pay $5 for the whole night, and there you go, get your games in. If you want to play in the tournament, you can do that. So being that consistent place that people can go to and play in competitions is big for us. Other than that, eventually we'd like to do more marketing. I mean, we do a limited amount right now on social media and things like that, but
it's also just yourself too. So
yeah,
I understand that.
There's only so much we can put in right now. So
as someone that does a podcast and YouTube, I get exactly what you mean.
You know, we're not going and spending $1,000 on a TV ad or something.
Right.
Obviously, we can't do that quite yet, but we do little things here and there, and hopefully we can get to the point where we can do more of that and spread the word more. Because, you know, I don't think we've tapped the entire community of fighting game players in even Des Moines.
Right.
Or Smash Bros. Players. Like, I guarantee there's players in Des Moines, or at least in central Iowa, that probably haven't heard about Des Moines Game Club or haven't heard about the FGC community. Or maybe they're young and haven't been exposed to it yet. So we feel that if we could have 100% market reach, which is, you know, not really attainable, but if all of a sudden all the gamers in Des Moines knew about us, you know, I think we'd have a lot. We'd grow very quickly. So it's just about staying consistent, building up to getting to that point where you can reach more and more gamers.
So then what can the average consumer do to help you?
Yeah, just spread the word. I mean, word of mouth is always best, right?
Right.
In a world of social media, it's great to retweet and like and share stuff, and that's big, and that goes a long ways. But if you have a buddy or if you meet someone, especially like when someone comes to local, that's one thing I've really liked about all the communities that come in is, you know, they don't just play with them. They talk to them like, hey, you know, you're new here. Who are you? And they introduce themselves and make them feel welcome, and that gets them to come back. And if maybe they were the friend in their friend group that took the leap to come, maybe they go back to their friend group and say, you know, I went and it was awesome, and spread the word and get more people to come. So that word of mouth is big.
I think the biggest thing for me is like maybe one of the reasons, like, shout out to Top Hat, but he used to run, like, I guess our local before this,
Right.
and as far as like Jay's goes, but it was like every other Saturday, so it wasn't, like you said, consistent in that regard, at least from what my knowledge. And at the time,
at least it was. Every
I mean,
other,
he was doing something. Yeah, he was very
absolutely.
consistent. I don't want to say discredit him in any regard, but
Top Hat's great.
But I think my problem was the reason why I was really going out there as much is because anime fighters weren't as big as they are now, and there wasn't as frequent ones or like ones that I wanted to play. So the ones I wanted to play was basically Dragon Ball. I kind of played Street Fighter, was never good at Street Fighter, didn't really take it too serious at the time. I think I had an Xbox over PS4, so even just playing Street Fighter was hard. But I noticed that there were certain games, and I feel like my homie that I brought here the one time, he's a big Tekken player. And it's like Tekken hasn't really been like in the rotation as far as tournaments go. It's still played. There's still casuals here, so it's like he can still come. And then before that too, I'm mainly an NRS guy. I've veered off because one, it's kind of hard finding games, and then NRS is like MK11. I think is a good game, but it wasn't the best it could have been. So it was kind of like annoying to play after a while. Like you get burnt out of it. And I feel like our NRS scene is probably non-existent. Now, I heard some people talking about NRS games here, but I feel like if there's a way to implement more games, it might bring more people.
Yep. I definitely feel that. And one thing I learned after our first FGC event was how many FGC games there are.
There's a lot.
You know, being a new, relatively new small business, we can't get every new FGC game that comes out.
Right.
Although we'd want to. Like DNF Duel, for example, seems like a good one that, we're on the fence if maybe we should just get it and have it on our PlayStations. But,
because that's an investment. That's like $100 investment.
Right. It's not just the game; it's the DLC usually that comes with all the games. So it's hard to keep up with it in that regard. But one thing that offsets that is that the community comes in and brings their own setups, and if a game's popular, someone probably has it on their setup. So
right.
That's something we try to do at the B side. Is play these other games that aren't Street Fighter and Tekken and Guilty Gear. So we'll try to keep rotating as many games as we can with the B side and locals too. Maybe that's something we could do with locals is still have our two main tournaments that are like officially run by Des Moines Gaming Club, but then
maybe
just
like
say,
a side tournament.
Hey, there's gonna be a side tournament in whatever it is,
or like a side tournament of the week.
Yeah,
like you guys decide on what you want to do, because
that's a good idea.
Because I definitely want to play some fighters. Like I think it was a few, maybe not the last time I came, but like one of the last times that I came, we played fighters over here, and I was just like, wow, offline fighters is actually fun. It's been so long since I played it offline that I was like, oh, I'm spoiled right now. Like this is a grand old time. I think I wish YouTube streaming would have a feature where you host.
Yeah.
I feel like that would help a lot, like kind of like how Twitch is.
Yeah.
Because I try to like retweet and put the stream out there, but it's YouTube, so I don't really have as much power.
People give me a hard time for not streaming on Twitch sometimes, and
YouTube's better in the long run, though.
That's what I'm thinking too. So the convenient thing is it automatically uploads to our YouTube channel, which is convenient. That just saves me time and is nice. And then it's not quite as good as Twitch yet. It's almost as good, and then, like you said, that's what I tell people, that in the long run, I think YouTube is going to be just as good as Twitch, if not better.
So that's why, like, I want to help grow the community in, like, regards of, because, like, I used to be a commentator, and then I caught bronchitis, and I had that for, like, 4 months.
Damn.
Like, it wasn't bad as far as, like I was sick. It was just more so annoying. Like, I couldn't even like take a deep breath without feeling winded, or I couldn't even talk.
I haven't had it, but I know people that have had it, and they say it's not a fun time.
And I'm just surprised at how long it lasts. So then that kind of killed my drive for commentary. And then once I started playing more, and like obviously entered into Des Moines Gaming Local, like I want to get good at a game, because I feel like your credentials and your knowledge of a game shows when you're on commentary.
Sure. That makes sense. That's just a clear, good way to get into commentating is be good at it.
Right. Because I mean, shoot, I was I was learning the game as I was commentating. And I think that's the hardest thing. I get it. Everybody does it because, like, obviously DNF Duel is like a new game out, so everybody's doing it as we're commentating. But I didn't even know the names. Like, sometimes I just play, oh, he did that move. That move was good.
Yeah.
So it's just like there's a lot to learn there.
Oh, yeah.
One thing I want to know from you is just some quick hitters. Who is your favorite streamer?
Favorite streamer? That's tough. For a long time, it was Courage, who's now with 100 Thieves. That's probably not the case anymore.
Was that the Fortnite era Courage, or?
So I followed Courage back when he was a commentator of Call of Duty. So Call of Duty is the first game that I followed professionally.
Okay.
Shout out Optic Gaming and Scump. So when I started following, Courage was just a commentator, and he was a personality in the scene. And so I followed him all the way up, and now he's co-owner of 100 Thieves, which is nuts. So that was cool to see. Now his streams, they're not really for me, I wouldn't say. But I still tune in from time to time. He was just someone that was always tuned into the whole industry.
Right.
So like whatever, eventually he became bigger than Call of Duty. So he played all these other games, which was cool. And so it was for someone that liked to follow esports in general, especially since I was hoping to open a business in it. That was cool. But my favorite content creator is probably Hector Rodriguez, who's the owner of Optic Gaming, and he's the person that has probably inspired me to do this stuff. And
that's a good one.
He has a really good podcast too called the Eavesdrop Podcast.
Yeah. I've listened to a couple of episodes. I'm jealous of his setup. Like,
oh yeah.
I had to stop watching him and Nate Shot because I would watch like their vlogs, and I'm just like, yeah, this ain't my life. Like, I gotta stop.
Yep, they're decked out.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. What about favorite Smash player? Do you have one?
When I think of Smash, so my older brother has got me into Smash, and he was big into Melee, and so I like to think of the five gods of Melee and Armada. This is way back when, of course, but there were the five gods of Melee, which I just think is a dope name for the five best players in a game. And then when I was following it, Armada was the best. So I just think, okay, there's the five gods, and then maybe he's the best of the five gods. So I thought that was cool.
Right on. Okay. I think Leffen is mine.
Yep.
I like it. Like I said, I like a little dabble of toxic.
People here always talk about MK Leo too.
Yeah, that was another name I was thinking of, surprisingly. Those are some good names to mention. What about FGC?
So I don't play very many fighting games. And so I can't say that I follow the scene particularly closely. So, I couldn't even tell you what my favorite game is. Maybe Street Fighter, just because it's the classic one. But this might be bad because I'm an owner of Des Moines Gaming Club. But I don't know if I have a favorite fighting game player. Yeah.
Maybe someone from the scene got to change your mind or something like that. I guess I don't know. I would say some of my favorites. I think Kizzy K. Kizzy K plays a lot of the characters that I would want to play, so I try to implement my game after him a lot. Also, I didn't help. No bias, though, because I know I interviewed him, but no bias. I would say Smug. I like skillful players, but I also like players that play multiple games. So, like Sonic Fox, Punk, Justin Wong, Daigo. Like, I like people that can showcase characters at a high level, but also play just different games. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool.
I feel like me personally, especially how I've been lately, maybe because I'm scatterbrained, I think I would rather be good at multiple games than just be good at this one game. And then as soon as you play another game, you're not the same person. You can barely make it out of pools. Like I've always respected those players because that's always what I wanted to do. Because I hate when I see a new character. I was like, oh, this character looks sick, and then I can't play him, get beat up, and then I gotta go back to my main character. And it almost feels like you're just going back to cereal every night, and you're just like, oh, I can't have new dinner.
Yeah. No, it's definitely something that I respect. So we have some Melee players that come in and their main game is Melee, but they enter the ultimate bracket and can win 3 or 4 games there too. which is nuts.
That's
honestly.
impressive.
Yeah, it's definitely impressive.
So I kind of touched bases before we had start this, but how come you don't think about making the Tuesday telecast like a full-fledged podcast or something like that?
Well, I guess, I don't know. It was always just, ever since I had the idea for Des Moines Gaming Club, I thought I need to have a weekly update so people can stay in touch with what's going on here. So that's just all it's been, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I never really thought about that. So I guess for a while we did a Member of the Month thing on our YouTube channel. So we interviewed some of our members, just got to know them. Something like that, I could honestly just tack on to the Tuesday telecast.
That'd be cool.
Like
full-fledged thing.
Every now and then on the Tuesday telecast, just have someone come in as I'm recording it and just talk to them. Yeah, because I always just want to keep people updated on what's going on schedule-wise at the club, and then any events that we have coming up, and then some esports industry news. And then
also, I think that might be a good incentivize to come to the local. Because they're like, hey, I feel like I put in a lot of work. I feel like it'd be cool to just be a face. And then some people might recognize that face as like, hey, he did this and did that.
That's a good idea. Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of personalities in both like the FGC and the Smash Bros community. I could have people from those communities just come on and talk about their communities. Like,
I definitely
this is a
recommend
great
it.
idea. See,
You know what I'm saying?
I knew you'd have ideas for me because you were a big help with the ring light on our stream setup. Yep.
It was just because the players were making it so
like,
dark.
It's kind of dark. You might want some light in here. I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea. And so when you told me that, yeah, just put a ring light around your camera, I was like, okay. And I ordered it, and boom, we've had it ever since.
And speaking of ideas, how just some few ideas to run by you.
Yes.
What about potentially getting some commentary?
Yeah. So that's something I've always wanted. Now, how to do that the best way is what I've grappled with. So it's interesting. I feel like the FGC has come to me more about commentating than the Smash Bros community, which I would have had the other way around, honestly, if not just
But
for the
I
numbers.
also feel like if the FGC comes to you about it and Smash sees it and sees how it works.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not like, even like, I would say, not to even brag or toot my own horn, but I'd probably have the most experience commentating here.
Oh, yeah.
If we say get me and someone else on the thing and we're just maybe shooting the shit and just, cracking jokes, being funny,
Oh, yeah.
I feel like more people are going to be like, ooh, I want to be on commentary or I want to play my matches on stream. Because that's like
100%.
my favorite thing on the local. Even though I be getting bullied, I like playing on stream. Like I'm almost not nervous to play on stream anymore. Like I like playing on it.
Cool.
So I think having commentary would be great too.
I'm right there with you. And yeah, it will only add a lot of value to the stream. That's for sure. Yeah, that's way more interesting to tune into. I've talked about it with the Smash community, and it's like, we don't really do it here in Iowa, which
see
I
that,
should just
but
push past that and just
we also have
let's
to make
just
it a
do
thing too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's something we want to do. Yeah, that wouldn't be too hard. I have a mic. I could also just get another mic too, I guess.
Or even a headset. You get a quality headset, and then that's what mainly people use anyway at like tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, we should do it. Hey, anytime you're coming, feel free. Feel free, and we'll shout you out and do all that.
It might be a lot of sound effects for the first couple games.
Yeah, well,
I'm still have to learn a few things. I know Strive a little bit, but DNF Duo I still have to learn a lot. But
the big thing I think is just like you were talking about, just someone that knows the game a little bit, knows the community a little bit, which you know more than that. You know more of the community. You know more than just a little bit about most of the games that we play. Just talking about what's going on. That adds a lot of value.
I am so down if I could get someone else too, like where, like I said, like I know some of things and I could just kind of do like the commentary things and just have more of a play-by-play guy.
Yeah. So
I could just kind of react and stuff like that. I am so down.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would just help our community grow because I do want to get back into commentary, but like that's why I've been having this like Achilles heel or like this damned if I do, damned if I don't moment where I want to get better at commentary, but I also like want to get better at the game. Because I don't want to come off as like pompous, like bro, you don't even punish that. So how can you say that's a punish? And like, yeah,
no, that's just part of it, right? That's all commentators in the world have that, right? That's your job. You have to say what they should have done, even though you yourself couldn't have done it.
I am so down. I am more than motivated for that.
A couple other barriers was that I have a mic. But then we need to figure out a way for the commentators to maybe be able to actually listen to the gameplay because, I mean, the monitor emits the sound, but you're on the other side. And if it's busy, it's hard for the commentators to hear. So we got to figure that out, too. Somehow get a headset or something. So.
Which we can always work out, too.
Yeah.
Is there any gaming pet peeves that you have? Someone that plays games. But you say you don't play fighting games, so I'm guessing shooters?
Yeah, so I'm big in Apex Legends, and the Apex Legends Global Series World Championship is actually happening this weekend, so I'm pumped for that.
That'll be exciting.
Yeah, so big in Apex Legends. I play Rocket League quite a bit, and FIFA. I'm a huge FIFA player and fan. I'm a big European soccer fan, so that makes sense.
What's your team?
Chelsea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like soccer. I don't really watch it as much as I should. I don't really have a team, so I'm still up for adoption if anyone wants to adopt me.
My little tidbit on soccer is that it's the best spectator sport. It's 2 hours. It's never longer. There's no commercials.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, so what are your gaming pet peeves? Is there anything that drives you nuts?
Let me actually answer your question. Well, let's see. Sometimes gamers are loud, I guess, and I'm ready for that, right? So we have people that come in, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna go play Call of Duty, they're gonna be loud, but even then, even though I'm mentally ready for it,
never really.
When you're
ready.
gaming, I mean, especially Call of Duty, you turn around a corner and there's someone there, and you get shot and you're dead instantly. You're gonna react, and some people are just a little bit louder than others, and that's fine, and especially. I signed up for it. I'm running this business.
Especially the headphones.
So I scare easily. Yeah. So people are wearing. That's exactly right. People are wearing headphones, so they're louder than they think they are. And someone yells from back there. I'd jump a mile because I scare really easily.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
I would say mine, but I guess it's also my play. No, I mean, I don't know. There's some games where some people are just acting like complete idiots. Like, you think you shut down something and like, all right, they won't do this again. And they do it again and you're like, wow. And then now you're like paranoid and they're getting you not because you're not ready for the moment. It's because you're so paranoid that they're going to do the same thing again that you're trying to prepare for it. And it's like, I play a lot of people like that. And then shout out to my homie Oni, but he does this too. Like, he's a really good player. Like, he wins a lot of sets. And he'll get me a lot. So then he'll shut down a lot of my options and a lot of my offense. And so I'll do something bold, and he'd be like, whoa, you're bold. I'm like, bro, I'm literally the last choice I have. It's my last card. I have to do something. Like, I have to try. Yeah. So that's, I guess, some of my gaming pet peeves. Or, like, I guess it's more Mortal Kombat. I guess it's more fighting games because that's really what I play. You play a close set. It's like 2-3. They got the last hit. You just barely lost, and they want to teabag or talk shit. It's just like, bro, you barely won. Like, you almost should have lost. Like,
that's a good one, yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah, trolling is too prevalent in gaming. Like,
if you could back it up.
Yeah, if you can consistently destroy the other person, it's like, okay, maybe one taunt or something. But
it's just when they barely win.
In Apex, like, there'll be two squads that fight. Like, it gets down to a 1v1, and it's really close. The other person's like one shot, but they win, and then they teabag or something. It's like, come on,
Only time I haven't played a lot of Apex. That only because I think for some reason in battle royales I just cannot see. That perfect 20/20 vision, good eyesight, and everything. They'll be so far, and I'm like, you see them, shoot them. I'm like, squinting my eyes. I was like, I don't see shit, bro. I don't know how.
I don't understand with like professional FPS players is I can't even see them on my screen, and they've got no sight. It's just the iron sight or something, and they're just beaming them from.
That's
a mile away.
literally why I don't really play shooters like that. Not because I just can't hit the target. I can't see, and it's too late when I see them.
I definitely feel you there.
But yeah, I noticed in Apex, like you get third party a lot, and then that's when they'll teabag, and I'm like, you wasn't even in the fight. Yeah, I had 2 health. How did you do that?
Right.
What are some of your goals for the Des Moines Gaming Club?
Yeah,
kind of touch bases with growing it, but what are your actual goals?
Yeah, just to grow, just keep growing, keep providing that service and that opportunity. So 2 things that we'd like to grow relatively soon is the club rental aspect. You know, providing a venue that people can use. So we're trying to reach out to different parties that might want to use it. We feel like it's a good option for like a 20 to 30 person party for whatever event that may be, corporate, birthday party, bachelor party, whatever. You know, this could be a lot of fun, especially for people that aren't looking for like a bar scene or something. So yeah, growing the club rental side of it, and then
maybe here's our idea for a rental. I don't know how I want to word it or how I want to say. Maybe make it to where it's like an introduction to gaming. Because, you know, parents always have these, like, my kid's on the game too long, it's hurting their eyes, hurting their brains. Maybe if you could have it to where it's like a in-house welcoming thing and like, hey, parents, this is what we're doing at the gaming club. Yeah, your kid's on the gaming, but it's only for 4 hours at a time or blah, 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 blah. Right. And it's like, there's a community here. We're trying to get better. It's a skillful thing, and show them maybe esports or something. Like, there's options you could do.
And that goes into the other thing that we want to improve more and do more of, and that's work with the local collegiate esport program. So we had a summer thing for League of Legends with Grandview and Simpson. Their directors both came in. They gave coaching to some high school students.
Oh wow!
And we want to do more of that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, you know, make this a hub for learning esports as well. That would go a long way with introducing esports to younger kids.
Because I know, like, my goal for this, and then it's part of the reason why I wanted to interview and when I want to do these more interviews. Hardest part is just setting up the interview and then getting on the same page with a person. That shit is...
Oh, yeah. The logistics of it.
That's an interview in itself. But one thing I want to do is just kind of keep growing my brand, because if you look at, like, just as far as the FGC podcasts go, obviously I think of Yipe's podcast. I think of Sajam's when he does it. I think of Best of V, and I think of like Ultra Chin TV. Those are 4 good ones, but I feel like there's not a lot that's like constantly doing interviews, and like podcasting is the biggest in the gaming thing. So as much as I could provide to gaming, I mean, obviously this is on my own brand as far as like Tyler Bryan Hour goes, so it might be a little hard within the algorithm to listen to a gaming podcast and then listen to me wilding about life with my friends. But one thing I want to do is I want to build this up, because I feel like we need that, like you said, like that weekly consistency as far as gaming goes, and someone need to interview and someone you want to talk to.
That's the toughest thing about content creation, is being consistent, right? So if you can pull it off, which is, you know, it's a big if, that definitely goes a long way. And
part of it is just getting people. I could get people. I think I could pull it off.
Right.
And I try to ask questions that like are meaningful or deepful or like.
Hey, I've been impressed. You came well prepared, and
I just I will. You know what I'm saying, since it's on the podcast and we like to get spicy and like tell truth. I had to Google your name. We've always talked and always had interactions, but I've never said your name.
Yeah.
So I was like, what?
A lot of people have that, right? That come in. My like. So Smash community, for example. So I played a few of the tournaments back in the day, like when we first opened. You know, and I got absolutely destroyed.
What's your gamer name?
Kingpin. So that's what people called me.
It's funny.
People still call me Kingpin, and they don't actually know my actual name.
Well, because
that's just being a gamer, right? You call people by their tag, and you don't actually know their name.
And then that's the thing too, is like I was playing some people last Wednesday, and I knew them by their name, But then when you would say their name, I'm like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah,
And then I'd see them, I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, oh, what's up? And I was like, oh, what's up? And that's my thing is like, if I don't call you by your name, I either forget it or I'll call you, but whatever.
I'm bad with names too.
Yeah. So like, that's why when we always interacted, like you never said my name, I never said yours. So I was just like, oh, all right. That's all. But now that I'll say it, I'll start to remember it and then think of things like that. But yeah, that's what my contribution would be, because I do truthfully, honestly believe this could easily be top 5 as far as gaming locals go. If we get the right crowd in here, get the right views. I don't know how YouTube is, but I know if you have like. It's going to sound bad because I do it, but whatever. But at least as far as Twitch goes and streaming goes, if you have, like, say you're watching the stream, that counts as 1 viewer. So then if you have, like, say a backup account, that counts as 2 viewers. So so the stream tier, if you figure, like, each person counts as a tier as far as, like, getting your stream more noticed by other people and more people to come into your stream. If you have 1 person watching, obviously yourself, then you make a dummy account. That's 2 people. Now you're already on tier 2. So if you get 3, it gets higher up. And I noticed that, like, my streams do better if I'm watching my own stream and have something else up.
Yeah, sure.
So if the gaming club could do that, obviously me posting it. I think if I if I post Wednesday and yo, I'm doing commentary, I'm on mic or something like that, people might want to hear it just because they're like, oh snap,
for sure. Yeah. So one thing we do, especially with Smash Bros, is because people that are here like to watch it. We have it on the TV, and that counts as a viewer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think it's always cool when I come in here and I'll see like a stream up, or I'll see like just whatever have you up, and I think that's cool. I think you even play basketball, so that's pretty cool too.
I'm a big regular sports guy too, but yeah, the Smash community will come in and they've told me that they like watching the stream here, and then since it's delayed, the players will finish, and then the players can come in like 20 seconds later and see and get hyped up, about it all over again, which is cool.
So what game would you say you're good at?
The games that I play, I'd say I'm at least okay at. Apex, Rocket League, and FIFA.
Yeah, but gun to your head, on the hot seat.
FIFA?
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Number 1, yeah.
FIFA's fun as hell, but it's also like hard in a way. Because you really like... I definitely play it like... what's FIFA's superstar mode called? What was it called?
FIFA Ultimate Team?
No, not Ultimate Team. The one where it was like Alex Hunter.
Oh,
that story mode.
Yeah, I don't know, something weird. In the dream or something.
I definitely play that like FIFA like that mode. Like I'll definitely try to just dribble out past everybody and stuff like that. So that's like my only Achilles heel with FIFA. Is there a fighting game you would say you're good at, even though you don't play them?
No, I can't say that there is. No. Let's see. If I had to play any of the ones that we play consistently here at the club, that VSAV looks fun. Vampire Savior.
It does look
that old classic game. That's. I played it once with some of the FGC people that were in, and it felt good. I mean, especially when you're using a stick. It was just really quick and fun to play. But
I think I watched a breakdown on it, and it was like the more buttons you hit gets you the pushback or something along those lines. And then even then, it has to be in succession. So like if you only hit 2 buttons, I think it's like you only get like 20%. And then like the more buttons you hit, the more better odds you have of getting your pushback.
Interesting.
And I'm like, so I'm blocking, and I have to hit 6 buttons to get a push. This game is fucking crazy. When I was watching that breakdown, I was like, yo, this looks sick. And I was like, oh, this looks hard as hell. Like, what? And that game, to me, was just interesting and fascinating enough. When you're not at the club, man, you got to give me something that's completely on opposite spectrum of gaming and things of that nature. What do you do?
Okay. I recently got into skateboarding.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I have a good friend of mine who's been a long-time skateboarder. And, of course, now Des Moines got the biggest skate park in the nation, which is awesome. So I've been there a few times. I can really only roll down the road on it. I'm not trying any crazy tricks on it because I don't want to break my legs just yet. But,
what board are you riding?
It's an April board.
Okay.
Yep, got it at Subsect, you know.
Okay. Shout out to the local brand.
Yeah. My wife and I live in the East Village, so we like living downtown. Go out to dinner and things like that. When I'm not at the club, I'm trying to spend time with my wife since I'm here a lot. So.
Right on. Do you ride regular or goofy?
Regular.
Okay, I'm definitely a goofy rider, but I haven't it's so crazy. It's so surreal how like me and my friends growing up used to like just ride and go downtown and like that little ice rink we used to jump over and just ride our skateboards over there. Yep. And like I've rolled, I could do ollies, shove it. I could do the rotation on a kickflip. Can't land a kickflip. Never landed one. But since we got that skate park, like I've been wanting to get back into skating, and I obviously have to buy a board, and I got some shoes I could use, but I just haven't got around to it. But I need to get back to it. But like you said, I want to be able to do a kickflip, but I also like walking, and I don't want to break nothing.
Yes.
So I don't want to go down the set or anything like that.
My friend, who's very good, consistently has bruises and whatnot. I'm like,
I don't want that.
I'm not ready for that.
Yeah, I'm too old to be landing and stuff like that. So is that why you picked? Well, I guess it wouldn't be the Des Moines Gaming Club without Des Moines, but is that why you picked downtown? Is because you guys lived, like, what were the other options?
Well, so way back when I had the business plan for Des Moines Gaming Club, I told you I'm big into European soccer, and you know they're all football club over there, right? They're all clubs, and so you know my long term, you know, dream would be that Iowa, the Midwest, would start to have these gaming clubs that, and so just anywhere that there's a gaming center, you know, maybe they have teams, maybe they have a Smash team or an FGC team that travels, and you know, there's different gaming clubs that Des Moines would play, you know, Kansas City or something, and then you could have a league like in Europe, you know, and then,
but we could also send out players too. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
If we could do something like that to send out players to these big tournaments, I think that would be super sick.
And more and more gaming centers are popping up here in Iowa, so you know, maybe that's something that can happen down the road.
Well, that when I went to that Davenport one and seen that was a local, I thought that was cool. And then I think Ames had something too. And it's like that's kind of like you came at the perfect time, because it was like, damn, all these other places in Iowa have something. And like before, when I was still thinking that I could get paid for the FGC, but once I started realizing that the FGC comes with a lot of logistics, I realized different. But before then, I was thinking I have to move to like California, New York, to just be at the local, so I could just practice commentary. Then I could get good at this and stuff like that. But the fact that you're building something here is cool to me, because it's like, oh, I can stay here. Like this is perfect, and I love everything about it.
Yeah, right.
That's cool. I like that idea. So, was this the first choice as far as locations go? Like this spot specifically?
So we opened at the Southridge Mall.
I feel like I was there once.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You might. We were only there for a month and a half, because after a month and a half,
y'all moved, right?
They kicked everyone that was inside the mall out. So
wow.
The Southridge Mall, for anyone who hasn't been there, is old and needs some work and has some damage.
It's on its last days, I will say that.
Yep. So I was in there with some other entrepreneurs that were starting out, and you know, it was good. But then the owners of the mall, which own like 30 malls across the nation or something, just said, yeah, we actually don't want people in there because like the roof has issues, so we're just kicking everyone out. And so we had to find a place. We wanted to be in downtown Des Moines long term anyways. So, and
I think this is a perfect spot. As someone that hates going downtown, I feel 100%.
We really like it. It's good. Yeah, this is probably about, you know, right about where we want to be. So
I think so hopefully you guys stay here long term, because I like this spot. This spot's pretty good. Last question for you. What do you think of gaming now, and like where do you think it could go?
So yeah, I mean it's already big, but you know, like when I listen to Hector Rodriguez, it's hello, just finishing up a podcast here. Yeah. He always says that even though it's big right now, it's still in its infancy. So,
That's true.
You know, when you think about how big it is, and like, okay, it still has a long ways to go. you know, it's only going to get bigger. One thing I like to say too is gaming centers like this, where you just have PCs that people can come in, like gaming cafes, are really common in like Asia. Like if you go to big cities in Asia, there's like a gaming center on like every other block.
Like arcades are still huge.
Yeah. So the United States is kind of behind in that regard. So I think eventually there'll be places like this all over. And there are big companies that are already doing that are just putting gaming centers in different places. So it's big now, but it's going to get even bigger, which is exciting to see.
Yeah, so I think that was a great episode. I think you've been a great guest. Dan, is there anything you want to shout out, promote, or leave on the table?
No, just if you're in Central Iowa and Des Moines and you want a gaming place to go, just check out Des Moines Gaming Club. We have a website, dsmgamingclub.com. We got a Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, where you can go and see our past tournaments. Things like that. We have a Discord.
I got a quick one. Can I get a follow back on Twitter? Like,
oh yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
I'm just
absolutely.
I'm supporting the local. I just want to follow back on Twitter.
We'll do that. I'll do that right now.
But yeah, like I said, nonetheless, you have been a great guest. I'm excited to see the future of this gaming club, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to help this, because this is something that I wanted. So the fact that you did all the hard work by creating this and backing it with the money, I just feel like it's easy for me just to promote, and any sort of success that I get, I got to give credit to all the people that been through here and just what you've done. So, thank you for being on here as well.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You've been a big supporter, and we really appreciate you coming in, especially with all your advice, like the ring light and all your ideas that you have. We really appreciate it. So thanks a lot,
trying
Brian.
my damnness. No problem. You guys take care. Be sure to leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and subscribe on anchor.fm/Tyler Brown Hour for as little as $1, $4, $9, whatever you could afford. That was the Runback on tour, and I'm